Okay. So initially, this is the projects. This is a projects. Here inside the projects, we are going to create a project. This is the old project. So now I'm going to create new project. So in the file, we are having a new project. So inside this categories, there is a project Java. So inside Java, we are having the projects. These are all the projects. Now we are working on a Java application. So by selecting this, click on next. So you have to give the name of the project. So now I'm going to take demo 1 is there. So demo 2. This is the name of the project. And this is the project location. This is the project location. So where the projects are saved. So in this documents and NetBeans projects, this project demo 2 will be saved after clicking the finish. So here, how it will be managed, how the project is managed. There is no need to build a path for that. It will automatically create it. So when I'm clicking on this, let the project build. It is starting, but it is taking time. Wait a second. So maximum, I'm telling to the section 2 people, those who doesn't know about this NetBeans, please install it. Just ask the section 1 people, just you are having some, they are already having some information with them, how to install it and how to create the path. I think path and all, Sudhakar sir is already shared with you, I think. So this is a project. It's been created. Let me close the other programs, close all. Okay. This is a demo 1 project. Let me close this project so that it is easy for you. So these packages are built in. All these are packages. These are all the jar files which are available in Java development kit. So when we are going to install a Java into a PC, it will ask to install a JDK as well as JRE. So both Java development kit and Java runtime environment will be created. Inside a JER, we are going to run each and every program written by Java. So here one thing you have to remember, while we are doing all this, the compilation is always outside the Java virtual machine. So what is a Java virtual machine? It is used to create or allocate memory for the programs which are compiled by the Java compiler. So after the compilation of a Java program, it will be converted into the bytecodes. So bytecodes are used by the JVM where it will be allocated basis on the object reference. So this is the reference is a hash code, which is a unique number while we are creating a memory allocation. JVM creates, which is the heart of Java after the compilation process and for the running that bytecode in between the machine as well as the high level language. So it acts as a translator. Don't you think like it's a compiler is a translator? Yeah, compiler itself is a translator that converts, that translates high level language to low level language. But in between that, after the compilation of a Java program, it gives us a bytecode. So this bytecode is allocated, the memory will be allocated by the JVM to the bytecodes itself. So how it is like? So JVM, I think you people are familiar. Initially, sir already said about this. Unit 1 notes. Yeah, I'm preparing that one. Actually, who is this guy? 20B85, 516 or 7, whatever. Okay, I will give it later on it. Okay, actually, I'm working on a project. It will take time to give. Maximum within 2 to 3 days, I will try to give you. Okay, never mind. I'm somewhat busy. Okay, so this compilation part is done by the compiler, Java compiler, which is outside the JV. So at the initial stage of memory allocation, JVM gathers the bytecode of a particular application, I mean Java program, which is converted into a bytecode, and it sends all the data into the method area. Let me show you. Let me show you one thing. I will share the PPT so that it is. So memory organization for the members of a class. This is this is a JVM memory structure. It will be in 5 stages. It will be in 5 stages. So this is the method area. The JVM doesn't have compiler. So compiler is always outside the JVM only. You have to remember this one. Compilation is outside JVM. After the compilation, Java bytecodes will be arranged towards the memory. So this is the JVM memory structure in 5 steps. So initially, when we created a class, so yes, I'm going to create a class. Let me share you a NetBeans. So this is the package name. This is the package name, demo2. And this is the name of the class. This is the name of the class. It is automatically, NetBeans creates automatically a class which is having a main method. So inside the main method, we are going to check. I'm going to write a program, small program. Hello world. Okay. So here I'm going to compile this one first of all. So directly it will runs, but in the sense of let me show you command prompt. I think you know about the command prompt, how to run the program and all. One second. Okay. So here in NetBeans itself, the compilation, it won't show, directly gives the output. So when I run this program, it is taking so much time. Yeah, this is the hello world. This is after the execution of the complete program itself. So after the execution, we are getting this. But in between that, it will generate a bytecode, which will be sent to the memory allocation inside a JVM. So Java Virtual Machine plays an important role for the creation of a classes, for the creation of objects, and for the creation of a stacks for the references, and for the creation of registers. So, and there are native libraries are there, which is written in other languages like C or C++. So let me show you again PPT. So see this. This is a method area. So this is the method area. So in this method area, what we return in a class like variables or a methods. The class is having methods or a variables. So according to that, we'll call them as instance variables or global variables. or local variables. There are so many variables are available. So all these variables and classes will be stored inside this method area. So when we are going to create, so that's why this method area, the class is always a model of an object. You have to remember this one. So the class is always a model of an object. What is an object? What are the things the class consisting of? The similar things will be in an object. So we are creating a class for the object. Sorry, we are creating an object for the class. When we create an object for the class, everything inside a class will be accessible by this particular object. So let me show you. After the completion of a method area, we'll go into the heap area. So this is the method area. Now I'm going to write a program, a simple program. So now here, sorry, these are default comments. Now I'm going to create a single line comment, instance variables. So what is the instance variables? This is also called as object variables. So these are also called as an object variables. Here I'm going to take int, sorry, we'll take it as a string. What is the string? This is a non-primitive data type. So accept string I said, but this is also a data type. There are two types of data types. What are all they? Primitive and non-primitive. This is one of the data type, non-primitive data type. So string name is equals to, we'll take a name, some son. The name of him is a son. So that we'll keep it in capital letters. So now I'm going to take the age. Age is equal to some 26. Okay. These are all the two variables have been considered. So these are the instant variables of a particular person. There is a person, he's having name called son and he's having the age is 26. So after that, I'm going to create a method. So void, this is the return type and yeah, he's talking. Sorry, name should starts with a small letter. Now I'm so it doesn't having any arguments over here. Let me check. Okay, whatever it is, I'll change the error. Okay. What is this error? Symbol method taking class. Okay, now I'm going to declare it. Create a method. Yeah, it has been created. This is a method which is the property of a particular person. So let me change the name to the class of the name to a person, refract. So how to change the name of a class? Here inside, right click on a class and there is a refract over here and rename. So in the rename, you're taking person and click on a refract. So the name of the class has been changed. So this is the person class overall. So inside a person class, we are having two properties of the particular person, which is his name. And next one is his age. So his property, this is the action of, what is this? This is the action of a person. So whose name is a son. So we are going to tell him how he will done. What he will done will tell us about, he will tell us about his name, semicolon copy. So inside this, sorry, I need to write it inside this, right? But so here, and it concatenates to what is the name? Let me send name comma age. So these are all the two arguments I'm going to pass inside this. I'm going to take a name and int age. So this is the name and this is the age. Okay. Now I'm going to send two instant variables to the property called tagging. When a person comes to you, what he will say, he will tell about him, like that his name is Hassan and his age is 26. So all these properties are stored in the, why there are some public keyword. What actually, what is your doubt? So one second, let me show you. What is your dot? Public keyword? No, sir. No dot. Okay. So not required. You can take directly the private itself or a public. Access modifiers are based on your interest. If someone wants to access your method or an instance variable, you just keep over there a public, or else keep it a private if other than the class. So private in the sense, what the use of a private access modifier? Outside the class you can't access that. So if I'm going to access this particular method outside this person class, you can't access it. If you mention a public over here, you can directly access it. So there is no need of thinking about that. And here, why would take, I mean, what is the use of taking a static? Because there is no need to create an object for the static class or a method or a variable. It can be directly called. There is no need to create an object for that. So if it is like a public, if the given method is in public, we have to create an object of that class to access the particular method. You just remember this one while you are doing the programs, you will get a good idea about that. Daily do at least 2 or 3 programs so that it is very useful for you to understand what is this access specifiers or what is the use of it. So there are so many access specifiers, or I mean 4 access specifiers are there. Already discussed in the class, I think. They are public, private, protected, and another one is a default. So what is the public? You can access outside the package too. You can directly access. The private access is only allowed within the class. Protected is within the class as well as outside the package too. Default. So here default is similar to that of a public. You can access it to within the class, outside the class, and outside the package too. There is a small table for this access modifiers. You have to remember everything. So according to your requirement, you have to choose one of the access specifier. Okay. So, okay, where did I stop? Yeah. So here, the person class consisting of 2 instance variable, and there is a method called talking. His action. What is his action? He can talk, he can walk, he can eat. There are so many actions for the person itself. We are discussing about a particular action. So while we are sending 2 arguments to the talking, like his name and age, What is his action? He will tell about him. All this code will be stored inside this method area. So what is the use of method area? All the things what we wrote inside a class will be stored inside the method area. Now, I want to access the method outside the class. What should I do? Okay, let me share you this one. So next we are going to discuss about the heap. So here, okay, within the class I will create another class. This is a main, and now I'm going to create another class. Test. I will take the name as a test. So the class test is a public, should be declared in the file name test.java. Okay, it is asking to create another class. One second. So if it is like a public, we need to create because the access somewhat different. So that's why it is not allowing. The access modifier is not allowed inside the same class name. So where the main method is, it should be the name of a class over here. Do not, it doesn't having, one second, I will show you so that you will understand easily. So inside this, I will take some instance variables. One second. Okay. String name. H Y talk. So how to access this person class? Just look at carefully, just listen it carefully. So now again I'm going to take this one. So how to create an object? Okay. Let me delete all this. Okay, I need to close this one. So I'm going to make a comment like this is the main class. So because the main method is inside a person class and this test class doesn't have a main method. You have to remember each and every time the program always starts with the main method. Okay, now I'm going to create an object of a test. How to create an object for the test? Test space the name. What is the name of him? Okay, I will take as a son. Yeah, his name is a son. Is equals to new test of. So now you have to remember this one. Creation of an object of an object. So here, when you created an object with the keyword new, it goes towards a heap method. So inside a heap area, the object will be created. You have to remember this. Inside the method area, you are having the class instant variables, the methods, what are all the things available in your class will be inside a method area. So inside a heap area, when it will be created by JVM. So JVM creates a heap area based on the objects. So based on the objects itself, the JVM creates a heap area for the number of objects. If there are 100 classes over there and we are going to create 100 methods, it creates a heap area to collect each and every object over here. So based on the stack frame, it will gives us a reference called unique identification. So each and every object, we are having an unique identification over here. Heap area consisting of an object for each and every class, each and every class consisting in method area. So classes are in method area will be forwarded by the JVM when the object has been created. So inside a heap area, the objects are referred by the hash code, which is a unique number, while at the time of an execution of a particular program. So now I created an object. When it will be created with the keyword new, when there is a keyword new, when the Java compiler knows about a new, yeah, there is a new keyword. So I need to create a heap area for the object. So JVM plays a key role over here. Okay, we'll go to the program. Share. Okay, so inside this, the test object has been created. So how to access this one? Here, we didn't mention any access specifier over here. And it is saying that please don't return anything because it is a void similar to C language. So inside the C language, we are having a return type. If it is like int, we need to see this. If it is like an int, we need to return a 0 or whatever it is. So there is no need of a return type over here. That's why I mentioned void. Remember all these things. This is test class. This is a test class and it doesn't having a main method inside this. Please listen carefully. This is the end of a class. This is the starting of the class. And there is another class. This is the start and this is the end of the class. Please check it out. Here it starts from here and it ended here. It is having two instance variables and having a method. So inside a C language, we'll call it as a functions. So inside a Java class, we'll call it as a method. So we consider a person with these qualities and this is the action of that particular person. I've created an object and now I'm going to access. Let me access. Based on the name of the class, sorry, after the creation of an object, I'm going to wait. First of all, we need to check whether the reference has been created or not. For that, we need to take a hash code SUN. Why I took this sun over here? Because the object is created with this name. I'm going to access dot HASH hash code. So this is the hash code. Whether the reference number has been created or not. Now I'm going to run this program. See this. This is the reference number has been created for the particular object. When I'm created an object for this, it creates a unique number inside a stack based on the hash area. There in the hash, sorry. One second, let me share you that one. So inside a heap area, object has been created and here in a stack area, a reference number will be created. So this reference number, we just check it now, whether the reference number created or not. This is all about classes and objects and how they are going to managed inside JVM. So JVM plays a key role for each and every object creation and the memory allocation for the objects and a class. So it has been created, and now I'm going to access, copy. Let me copy this so that it is now I'm going to access. What is the name? What is the action of a person? Talk. TAL. So sorry. So once again, to access a method with a dot operator, you have to remember to access a method with a dot operator. Why it is showing an error? Let me check. Why is not allowed here? Shows hints. Okay. Yeah, we'll remove that one if required. Let me check this one. I will show you again. Actually, there was an error. I need to give a void or else it throws an error. Without return type, you can access within the same class. If you are going to access this within the same class, then it allows without a return type. But outside the class, we have to take a void or else it throws an error. Let me check this one once. Once again. Yeah. Okay. Because there is nothing at all inside this, that's why it is showing error. There is nothing inside this. Okay, now by using an object, we just call a method within another class. Here you have to remember one thing. This is a public access file. If I didn't mention any access specifier over here, it will be considered as a default. So default allows access within the same package and outside the package and within the same class also. These are all the three properties for the default package. Sorry, default access modifier or a specifier. So now I'm going to take a name. Okay. Now I'm going to take my name and my age is 34. Okay, yeah. So now I just initialized. This is the declaration of a variable. So the name should be remembered. So it is a declaration of a variable with a data type, with the data type to whom, I mean, what is the name of that variable? A naming name, and the value inside the particular variable is this. This is what we created. This is the name and this is the age. So this is the declaration. So inside a top, now I have been created an object over here inside a main method, and now I access the top. This is the action of a particular person. Now I'm going to run this one. Yeah, see this. Here, based on the object, this is accessed. And again, see, the name is the reference number is 20876681. Again, I am going to run the file. See this, it is not changing at all because the object once created. So this is the same name. When I created another object for that, there will be another unique number. Each and every time when we are creating an object, a unique identification number will be created inside a stack based on a heap method. So inside a heap area method, the object created and will be managed by the reference number at the time of a memory allocation. So each and everything will be accessed based on that particular unique number only, or else it can't be accessed. How to know the name of the hash code? This is the hash code method. Directly will know which hash code has been assigned to the particular object will be retrieved by using this method. So this method for the particular object name. This is the test class which doesn't have a main method, and this is the main class. It is having a main method. So when you are going to write a classes inside the same program, only one main method will be available, and other than this all are. So let me show you. I just created another one. So this is the test already available. Okay, we'll call it as a test 2. See this, but we should not mention another main method inside this. There should be a number of classes inside the same application or a program, but there should be only one method. Each and every class will be accessed inside the main method on the basis of an object. Okay, now you got a clear-cut idea about how to create an object and how to access a method based on a heap area. The JVM rules over here. The JVM creates a memory for each and every object as well as the class, and it will create a unique identification number. Okay, now next topic, we'll go for the next topic. Let me ask you one thing. What is the strength of a section 2? What is the strength of section 2? How many people are there in section 2? Only why the people are not attending? Just one of you just send a message, man. Okay, whatever it is. It's your own opinion. Okay. 121 participants, all right. Yeah. So let me go for our syllabus. So creation, declaration of a modifiers, class members. Class members in the sense, all these are a class members. Everything, what are all the things available inside a class. String name, these are the instance variables we just use. This is the method. These are all the class members only. What are all the modifiers? Already said, a public, private, protected, and a default. All these are modifiers which are used by the Java at the time of accessing for the particular class, a method, or a variable. So if you don't want to mention, you don't want to change anything dynamically, you will take it as a private. Maximum number of people, the constant values will be considered as a private. So now I'm going to take private int, will take as a pi. So I'm not going to change. Sorry, I need to take it as a double because I'm going. This is a pi, right? Decimals. So these are the constants. So for the constants itself, we'll take it as a private. Okay, we'll go ahead and take a final keyword too. So final in the sense, now I'm not going to change anything throughout the program, because if we change a pi, actually we don't want to change a pi because it is a number already defined. So these are all the private numbers we can't change, and there should be a final. I'm not going to change final in the sense, what is the use of a final keyword? Okay, man, if you declared a variable inside a final, I'm not going to change that one throughout the program. So throughout the program, I'm not going to change this variable. Every time I'm going to access, but I'm not going to change it dynamically. So that's why we'll use a keyword of final over here. private also. Private in the sense no one is going to access. We'll make it as a private because which is a confidential. We'll think it as a confidential. If you are going to think whether the given method is a private or the variable is a private, that you will think that it is a confidential information. You are not going to share with other peoples. So got my point. This is a keyword, a final keyword about all. So final keyword, what is the use of that? Sir, you are not going to change throughout the program. I'm going to use only the same value. So there is no need to change dynamically. Okay, this is the use of a final keyword. Yes, I remember that one. That's why I shared the information about a final keyword. Now itself, 1 second. Yeah, declaration of a class object. Already we discussed declaration of a class object. How to declare a class object? This is the declaration of a class object. So initially the name of a class, to which class we are going to, let me type a syntax like this. Okay, comment it so that it throws an error. So name of the class, name of class to which we are going to create an object, and this is object name of a particular class for this class, and there should be a keyword new and the name of the class. So how to declare? This is a declaration of an object. How to declare an object? In this way. So initially, to which class we are going to create an object. So this is a class. I created an object with the name of a son, and there is a keyword new, and there is a test of. It is essential to create an object test of. So you can ask like that, sir, how would we create a method like braces over here? Because this is a class. To access or to create a method, to create an object, we have to take this way. Each and everything we created in a test will be considered as a method. Don't say that this is a method, this is a class only, but we'll store everything inside a package and we will access that with this name. So consider it as a package. So inside this package, each and everything will be stored. By using this object name, we'll access each and everything. Not even this. See this. So son dot age. I'm going to change this one. You can directly change this. Some 100. Okay, whatever it is. Son dot age. Okay, inside brackets. Sorry, not age. It's a name. Citizen. Is it a private? Yeah, somehow semicolon is there. So, sir, it's already declared over here, and I'm going to change this dynamically. So, what will be the output for that? It will discard these values and it will assign these values. After that, 100 and citizen will be printed. See this. It avoided over here. So you can access everything with this particular method area. So after creating an object, it will be packed into this some name. So inside this object name, each and everything inside this class will be packed and it will be accessed directly. So what is the use of this? See this, if I'm going to son, what is the use of these tools? When I click on a dot, see this, how it is showing everything. Age, name and top, what we created. Age, name and top. What is the use of a tools? This is the use of a tools. It can directly show what are all the things available in that particular package. So yeah, I'm the class name called text. I'm having a name, age, and I'm having a method tag. Hello, and I'm also having this particular data type, int and string, and there is a return type void. So how this will know? It will create directly an object and it will be packed and we can access by the object. So why I'm saying 2 or 3 times? Because objects and classes are most important. Java is a complete classes. Without a class, there is nothing for Java. So classes and objects, these are all important things inside a Java. If you want to learn, you have to know how to create an object, how to create a class, how to access an object. Accessing an object, if what we do, if the object having a private members, sir, just you should ask a question like, sir, if a test class having a private, so let me declare private access modifier. Sir, I'm having a private over here. This is a private. So here, because why it is not showing any error? Because it is inside the same program. That's why it is not showing an error. Sir, without this, I'm going to access. See, let me create another Java class. I will take as cool. Yeah, I will take the class name as a cool. So inside a cool, I'm having, let me remove this. I'm showing you how to access a private variables from outside the class. From outside the class. Okay, let me copy this. Courage. And let me delete this one. There is no need of it. Okay. See, it has been gone. There is no test at all. Okay, now we will change this to, so where is the refract? Yeah, refract, rename, and I will change this to test. So now this is inside the same package. This is inside the same package, but outside the class. Got my point? So this is a class and this is another class. So now I want to access these private members. These private members, where is it? Yeah, these private members. Let me declare it as a private. Private. Okay, the time has been done, I think. Yeah, it's okay. 93, 95. What is this? What is 93, 95? Okay, end of the session. Okay, what is this? Why he mentioned like this? Okay, strength, right? Yeah, got you. Okay, whatever it is. What I told you, please practice that one. A person's actions and what is his behavior, like walking, talking. Get 3 or 4 more classes in a Java class within the same program and access with the main method. Try that one and how to creation of an object. In the tomorrow's session, I will tell you how to access the private variables or a method outside the class. Okay, you may leave the class. Thank you. The time has been completed. Yeah, you may leave the class.